How does somebody go from a high school student struggling to find a purpose into becoming one of the fastest growing YouTubers I've ever seen? Welcome to InkThinks. This is the Rise of Creator series where we break down the YouTube journeys of your favorite YouTubers. Hit that like button if you want me to make more of these, and let me know who I should cover next in the comments below. As for today, this is the story of Skip the Tutorial and his rise on YouTube. Aiden Weiss was born on December 22, 2001, and is from Las Vegas, Nevada. Anyone who was born around the turn of the millennium is in an interesting place when it relates to technology, and more specifically to video games. The 1980s and 1990s did a lot of the heavy lifting to get gaming off the ground and work out a lot of the kinks, but gaming was still new enough in the early 2000s that kids born around this time would get to experience the growth of many classic series, including being present and in the target demographic for the launch of the best-selling game of all time, Minecraft. Aiden was no exception either. While he did have other hobbies like singing or reading, video games were always a through line as he was growing up. He even credits video games as being one of the main factors in teaching him how to read. Many series were at their absolute peak during the 2000s, and with the launch of systems like the Nintendo DS and Game Boy Advance, people were able to take their favorite games anywhere that they went, such as Pokemon, which particularly captured Aiden's attention. But despite this portability, nothing quite gripped the world at home like Minecraft did. Minecraft was a cultural phenomena that brought millions of people together around the globe with its expansive worlds and fun multiplayer options. Aiden and his friends also caught the Minecraft bug, sending them into countless hours of playing the game together. Sometimes they would download mods and cram together on a couch just to see what the game was capable of. And the sheer presence of this game slowly worked its way to online video sharing platforms like YouTube. And one part of this in particular caught Aiden's attention, a Minecraft series by Yogcast that convinced thousands of people to give the game a chance. Being such a big fan of these videos, as well as gameplay videos from Game Grumps, Aiden was really inspired to try his own hand at video recording. He wanted to put together his own gameplay clips. And his first foray into this came in the form of recording Minecraft on his MacBook Air with QuickTime Player and his built-in microphone. The microphone was so shoddy that Aiden and his friends all had to cram together with their laptops in order to all be picked up on the sound. While this setup was definitely rough, it was still fun enough for Aiden to keep it up. And seeing his budding passion for video creation, his parents gifted him an old flip camera that he started to use to film short skits with friends, such as reenacting Ryan Higa's entire How to Be Ninja video for a talent show. With these recordings, he began to develop incredibly basic video editing skills, such as rudimentary cuts or transitions. And this brings us to the summer of 2017, when Aiden finally got a capture card to record legitimate gameplay footage, and suddenly, the pipe dream of becoming a content creator became much more tangible. And on my birthday, July 17th, 2017, the Skip the Tutorial channel was officially born. Now, something that sets this YouTube channel apart when compared to the other ones I've discussed is the timeline of everything. Many other YouTubers didn't actually see YouTube success until somewhere in their early to mid-20s. But Skip was only about halfway through high school when his channel was created. And on top of that, it was kind of a difficult time for him. Like many other high schoolers, he felt apathetic and disconnected from much of his schooling. The subjects didn't really connect with him despite getting good grades, and other hobbies didn't really seem to speak to him either. He felt like he was kind of aimlessly drifting through life, not sure where he'd end up. His father was a programmer, so he assumed that one day he might try something like that, but after getting some game programming and Minecraft modding experience, nothing really stuck. That all changed though, when he opened his first proper editing program and started to teach himself how to edit videos beyond basic cuts and transitions. This ignited something in Skip, a passion that he'd never really felt before. Using Barry's editing tutorial from the Game Grumps as a guide, he set off headfirst into crafting videos. And on December 9th, 2017, he posted his very first video to the Skip the Tutorial channel, which was called Minecraft Bed Wars Episode Number 1, Beginner's Luck. Now, the public response to this video was incredibly small at first, just like millions of other YouTubers who try their first video. Aiden did show the video to a few of his best friends and parents, all of whom were incredibly supportive, but en masse, he didn't really tell too many people about this. He said that he has a habit of telling people about his goals before he follows through with them, and them just kind of fading into non-existence after that. So he wanted this one to be different. But the people that he told really were supportive. He's been on record saying that his mom and dad still watch every single one of his videos, and he can often hear his own voice through his mom's phone as she walks around the house and listens to his content. This helped push Skip through December of 2017, even spending spending time on editing instead of studying for his exams. He was experimenting around with a few different kinds of content, much of which is now privated, such as random vlogs, a show called Excited with a 3 instead of an E at the end, where he talked about 3 things that he was excited for and 3 things that he wasn't excited for, and a show called EXP that documented his efforts to get out of the bronze ranking in Overwatch. This hodgepodge of content really helped him buckle down and develop his passion for content creation. He knew that he loved editing, and he knew that he needed to get better at it if he wanted to have his own channel be successful, so he was constantly looking for ways to improve and get his name out there. And he finally found a solution that took care of both of those needs with one proverbial stone. He reached out to over 60 popular YouTubers and offered to edit their videos for free. Now, out of the 60 that he reached out to, only 5 YouTubers responded, and of those 5, only 2 had anything positive to say: Loxton from the channel Loxton and Noggin, and Failboat. Loxton offered to pay Skip for his services, but upon insisting on doing the work for free, he allowed Aiden to edit 2 of his videos. One called "The Pokemon Moves the Anime Got Wrong," and another called "You Won't Believe What's Wrong with Vespiquen." Neither of these really gave much of a boost to Skip's channel, but they did give him valuable editing experience. As I mentioned though, there was another channel who replied: Failboat, who said that he wasn't looking for an editor, but he was impressed with Skip's content and wanted to collaborate, which led to a Mario Tennis Aces video that shot him up by 400 subscribers in a single week, which was the biggest growth that he had ever seen up to that point, and it was incredibly motivating. This boost in morale led to the refinement of a few other series on the Skip the Tutorial channel, such as analytical reviews or a series called Boss Breakdowns, where he discussed what made different video game bosses special or unique. The channel had slow but consistent growth with this content until one video struck gold. The video was called Bomb Chicken's Dual Purpose Design and served as a response to a similar video on the channel GMTK, or Game Maker's Toolkit, owned by Mark Brown. As Aiden posted this video, he noticed that Mark's DMs were open on Twitter, so he shot him a message with the link, not really thinking much of it. But the next day, Mark shouted out the video on his Twitter, which helped Skip the Tutorial shoot up thousands of views and hundreds of subscribers incredibly quickly. And, unbeknownst to Skip at the time, Mark would continue to watch his videos and eventually featured one of Aiden's videos about boss battle designs and platforming games in the end cards of one of his own videos. This helped carry the channel up to 8,000 subscribers in just a few months. Eventually, Skip the Tutorial had a large group of dedicated viewers who would watch just about anything that Aiden posted. This gave him some room to experiment with different thumbnails, topics, and titles, which led to an interesting conclusion. The content that he scripted consistently outperformed the off-the-cuff, unscripted content. After making this discovery, he noticed that there was a trend popping up on YouTube of coinless challenges, where creators would try to beat popular games like Mario without touching a single coin. He capitalized off of this and released one on Captain Toad Treasure Tracker and saw huge success, sitting at over 1 million views today. Many of us who are familiar with the Skip the Tutorial channel got into it around this era of challenge-type videos. And this video in particular marked a huge turning point in the channel. He began posting more and more of these challenges, such as "Can you beat arms without arms?" or "Can you beat Shovel Knight without using the shovel?" and an entire mini-series on beating Punch-Out without dodging. These new videos killed it. Despite moving from 2 videos per week to just 1 of these challenge videos each week, they shot him up tens of thousands of subscribers and really helped put him on the map. And they even got him to a place where he was making some decent money off of the channel. That said, this challenge format of videos soon proved to be challenging. It was hard to sustain, and not only was it taxing to think of, research, and create these videos, but the videos were also prone to be dead on arrival if the challenge proved to be impossible early on in the game. For example, if you wanted to see if you could beat Punch-Out by only hitting each opponent 1 time, but it proved to be impossible on the 3rd or 4th fight, he wouldn't have enough content to justify talking about it. If he wanted to maintain these kinds of challenge videos, he would need to find a way to restructure, and that's exactly what he did. The concept I just talked about, beating Punch-Out with only 1 punch, wasn't just a random example. It was the exact video topic that he used when he decided to switch things up. Upon attempting this challenge, he found that every fighter was beatable by only one punch and then dodging, except for King Hippo, who was unfortunately the fourth fighter in the game. But rather than going through the list chronologically and cutting the video short, he decided to structure the video as the top 7 most difficult characters to beat using this method, which allowed him the flexibility to put the only unbeatable fighter at the end of the video rather than the start. This innovation and rearrangement is so crucial to YouTube growth. Anyone can get lucky with a couple of videos, but this is such a good example of reinventing to make something old work anew. And this structure really invigorated the channel. He soon posted 19 more videos that largely had the same style and structure, and they really worked for him. During this time, he even had his first video hit 1 million views in less than a week, when he posted, "Can you beat Minecraft if every block looks the same?" He also saw great success in more traditional list videos, such as 37 illegal things to never do in Minecraft. And as he posted more and more of these list videos, you can start to see a pattern emerge. Every single one of these more conventional list videos does incredibly well, but it seems like he primarily wanted to stick with his challenge content rather than diving headfirst into this list content, despite the difference in numbers. All of this momentum pushed him over 100,000 subscribers by April of 2019, but this new growth came at a cost. The pressure of being a YouTuber often goes overlooked. It isn't natural to have millions of eyes on you every single week. But it's part of the territory for a successful YouTuber. Skip said that this started to push him into a state of decision paralysis, where he was just so worried about losing his momentum by uploading the wrong video that he often just didn't post at all. And as you see him go through this struggle, you can see his posting schedule get more and more sporadic. This all led to early February of 2020, which Aiden considers the darkest period in his life. After going through some really terrible, awful times fighting a torrent of depression and dealing with some family issues, Skip posted a video on February 28th, 2020 detailing his experience and mistreatment of being in the hospital while treated for depression. I'm not going to get into those details here, but you can go watch his video if you want to learn more. But the reason that I bring this up is twofold. Firstly, it highlights yet another example of Aiden's resilience and ability to push through while finding meaning in what he does. But also, in a much more tangible sense, it had a real effect on his channel. When he got out of the hospital, he got back to posting and came at it with a new vigor that he had previously been unable to conjure. And after becoming disenfranchised with school for a grievous lack of understanding from his teachers regarding his stint at the hospital, Aiden decided to get his GED and dive headfirst into creating content. This post-hospital stage of content that we're in now has taken a step away from his previous Nintendo content, and it leans heavily into Minecraft. Each of his videos saw great success, but again, especially with the videos he presented as lists, which repeated the pattern that we found earlier in his career. And after getting some advice from a fellow YouTuber to marry this list video concept with the rising popularity of Among Us, his videos really exploded in popularity, and he was fully sold on the idea of sticking with list videos. Just to demonstrate how insane this modern Minecraft list era's growth is, Aiden shot up by 300,000 subscribers in January 2021 alone. Here are 12 of Skip's most recent videos, and here are 12 of PewDiePie's last videos, a channel 64 times bigger than his own. They can legitimately hang out in the same league, which is absolutely insane, and it's really unlike most things I've seen before. His growth is absolutely astounding, and I think that there's a fantastic lesson to take away from all of this. And that lesson is the principle of welcoming change. Aiden's channel started off as a Game Grumps style Let's Play collection, but from there it's seen many different phases. Each time, despite the fear of losing an audience, Skip welcomed the change and went with the flow until he found something that worked. He went from the analysis guy to the challenge guy to finally the Minecraft list guy. And that's something that I think a lot of small YouTubers can take to heart, as you see a lot of people stream every day on end without much success or post Let's Play after Let's Play without much success. But Aiden really sets an example of innovating and changing up your content to find something that works rather than doing the same thing over and over again. He stated that his end goal with YouTube is to eventually become a channel that thrives more and more on personality-based content, like Alpharad, who we've talked about before. But for now, he's gonna let things come as they will and embrace it. To close off, I want to give an analogy that Skip gave regarding YouTube when speaking at his old school. He said that YouTube is kind of like an incredibly fast jump rope of luck spinning around over and over and over. Eventually, it's going to catch up to you, and if you're not prepared, there's a very good chance it's going to knock you off your feet and pass you by. But if you're constantly looking for your opportunity and your shot, and you're willing to adapt when the situation demands it, then when that jump rope gets to you, you'll be able to use that growth to your advantage rather than being overwhelmed and knocked off your feet when the rope reaches you. I guess you could say you'll be able to skip. Thank you so much for watching, and a huge thanks to Skip the Tutorial for letting me interview him to gather so much information. If you have an idea of who I should cover next, hit the like button and let me know in the comments. If you want to binge my whole Rise of Creator playlist, that's going to be on the right, or click something that YouTube handpicked just for you on the left. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep thinking.